A leader coaches and builds the team so that it is enabled to achieve the common goal. If you look at any classical function, you will find that the classical maestros, be it vocal or be it instrumental, they play with their juniors sitting with them. So they demonstrate. They are not worried that, suppose I'm a singer and I'm singing with my disciples. They are not worried that if the audience likes the voice of the disciple, next program will go to them. It will not come to me. Many a times in corporate life, I have seen that we sometimes do not, I repeat, we sometimes do not coach our number 2 or number 3 because we feel that if they are coached and they can do my job, then what will I do? Our country is the country of Guru Shishya Parampara. We need to teach our juniors. The job of a leader is to make himself redundant. A leader's job is to make and develop leaders around him. You asked your MD, sir, and he said the same thing. What is the CEO's job? The CEO's job is to make his one-downs as good as him, if not better. That is the leader's job, right? So if, see, as human beings, we need to do our job. We need to be innovative. We need to be creative. But at the same time, if we do not find time to develop people around us, then we are not leading, but we are following. Leadership is a mindset, ladies and gentlemen. It's a way of being. We, need to understand what is the perception of ourselves, because our perception of ourselves is what that drives our performance. Our beliefs, drives our behavior. So if we believe from the core of our heart that we are a leader, we will start behaving like a leader. Nobody will dominate us as a leader. We have to believe that we are a leader. We have to raise our hands. And that is where leadership comes in. Let me give you a corporate story which will sum up all this. We have got 3 characters here. One is Steve Jobs, who was the CEO of Apple. Second is Jeff Williams. He was the COO of Apple the time when they launched the iPhone. And the third is Wendell Weeks, who was the CEO of Corning, which was one of the largest glass manufacturers in the world. The setting was 2007 January 6th, if I remember correctly. Steve Jobs had just launched the iPhone, which people in the hindsight say that it was one of the best ever product unveilings in the history of mankind. Right after the launch, Steve calls up Jeff Williams. He says, Jeff, I've been moving around with this phone for the last 3 days before the Macworld event, and the phone scratches. We need glass. Remember, at that time, there were no smartphones, so there was no big screen. This was the first time the big screen was getting introduced. So he says, it scratches, and we need glass. Vic said, yes, Steve, I have also seen that, but given the current technology and the way things are developing, it will take about 3 to 4 years, but within that, we will have the glass. Steve says, Weeks, you don't understand. This phone is going to get shipped in June. In June, it has to be glass. Jeff was flabbergasted. He said, but we have tested every piece of glass that is available across the world, and each piece breaks without 100% of it. The moment you drop it, it will break. So how can we have glass? He says, I don't care. We need glass. Imagine. Apple has launched the iPhone in January 2007 with a commitment of shipment in 6 months in June, and here Steve Jobs throws up his hands and puts a requirement which even the customers didn't know that they wanted. And not only that, it is most impossible to get it. No such glass exists. You understand the situation? Steve kept down the phone and called up Wendell Weeks, CEO of Corning, with a 3-word message. Your glass sucks. That was the message. So Weeks understood that he needed to do something about this particular piece. Now, Corning had developed a product which was stuck at the R&D because there was no usage for that product, neither they had a commercial partner for that product. So Weeks knew that maybe that will fit the bill. To cut to the end of the story, 6 months later, when iPhone was shipped, it was glass. What are the learnings from this story? Can someone tell me? Can someone reflect on this? What did we learn? I will give you this in a very simple, formula. It is team productivity is equal to potential productivity plus synergy minus process loss. Now, once you create that psychological safety, right, what happens is diverse opinions come out, diverse viewpoints come out. Without diverse opinions, without diverse viewpoints, new ideas will not come, synergy will not flow. Process loss happens when there is ambiguity between goals, roles and expectations. Once you have a compelling direction and a clear purpose, there is no process loss. We all know about the famous Cuban Missile Crisis and President Kennedy's style of leadership, which is how to prevent groupspeak. I will like to refer to the Peter Lencioni model, 5 dysfunctions of a team. We all know that, but trust is the bedrock. That's the first dysfunction leading to the rest. And I will give you examples of 2 teams from NASA. The first team was the Tiger team, which was handling the Apollo 13 mission, which was known as the successful failure. Why? Because they abandoned the landing on the moon and used that lander as a lifeboat to get the 3 astronauts back to Earth safely, right? The other was the Columbia team. The debris assessment team of Columbia, they had each of those 5 dysfunctions, as a result of which Columbia exploded once it entered the atmosphere of the Earth. And we lost all 7 astronauts. So this is what we understand by team and team management, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, we all want growth, right? Growth of our organizations, our own growth. And we all know about this 3 model of growth, the 3G model, which is consistent growth quarter after quarter, comparative growth better than others, and profitable growth. However, over the last 10 to 15 years, this model has become inadequate. So there is a 4th G which has come in, which is responsible growth. So the new game is that you need to have a business model which makes money, at the same time do good to the society and the environment. So this G, this 4th G, is what creates value. It's not only economic value, but also societal value. And how you do it? The answer is purpose-driven leadership. So the question is, what is purpose? What is the definition of purpose? So purpose is an aspirational reason for being that is grounded in humanity, which inspires a call to action. This is the definition of purpose. And if we see around us, all around us, right, we will see purpose all over. Every website you open of any company, you see the purpose. And that brings us to the important call today. The need of the hour is to have a framework which integrates purpose with the business environment, with the strategy formulation and the entire business model. So purpose needs to be at the pinnacle of the strategy as it permeates down into the DNA of the organization. So purpose needs to drive the vision, mission, the goals of the company, something that is completely internal to the company. Purpose brings the external lens. It brings the why. Why are we doing what we are doing? Today, it becomes very important because expectations are that organizations will do better and better with time. Why? Because they integrate purpose and go beyond profit. That is the expectation around the world from corporations. Purpose is expected to do three things. It needs to create value for the customer, it needs to impact the society positively, and it needs to create financial returns for the shareholder. This is the need for purpose. Question is, as an individual, how do I achieve my purpose? And here, I'll give you the example of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He was an ICS. If he wanted, he could have led a very, very cushy life, right? But his purpose was independence. And for that purpose, he gave up every comforts of life and plunged into the independence battle for India. And imagine 1941, today we say that the world is a global village. 1941, this man moved from India, collaborated with Germany and Japan, raised an army and invaded India. That is innovation at its peak, at its height, right? In those days even rockets were not there, and he did that. So we come to the concept that how do we achieve our purpose? We need three things here. One, we need passion. Two, we need perseverance. And three, we need an innovative mind. We need innovation. This is the 3PI model for achieving purpose. I'll quickly take you through each of these. So passion is like the two strands of the DNA which comprises the code of life for human beings. Passion is the external expression of the innermost purpose. Passion is the emotion on which we can dip into to realize our innermost goals, goals which are beyond material and the mundane. Purpose is driven by reason. Passion brings the emotion and the energy. Next important thing to learn from musicians are the focus and concentration. You see them, whenever they're singing, their eyes closed, they get immersed into the subject. So what is concentration? How many of you tell your son or daughter कि पढ़ाई पे ध्यान दे, या if they are playing, learning some instrument कि तबले पे ध्यान दे, या playing some football पे ध्यान दे, खाने के time में ध्यान दे? How many of you tell that to your children? Can you raise your hands? All the mothers mainly. Okay. How many of you have listened to this from your parents when you were young, when you were kids? All of you? Okay. Has anybody taught you how to concentrate? Yes? Anybody? Nobody has taught you? See, if you have to ride a bicycle, somebody has to teach you, how to ride a bicycle. Otherwise, how will you ride a bicycle? So, if you have to concentrate, somebody has to teach you how to concentrate. That means none of you know how to concentrate and you are telling your children कि पढ़ाई पे ध्यान दे. कैसे ध्यान दिया भाई? मैंने तो सीखा नहीं. स्कूल में ऐसा कोई क्लास नहीं था जहां पे once a week people have taught us how to concentrate. So we don't know how to concentrate. So if we don't know how to concentrate, we don't concentrate. So what is the opposite of concentration? Distraction. right? Now, suppose I want to win Indian Idol. Music में मेरे को Indian Idol जीतना है, right? So I go to Anu Malik and I tell him कि sir मेरे को जीतना है. So what will Anu Malik tell me? आ जाओ मेरे साथ रियाज करो, practice करो. That is what he will tell me. 6 months I will do riyaz with him. Will I win Indian Idol? Yes or no? We don't know. Acha, 1 year. Okay. So I will do for 1 year. Will I win? What is the guarantee that I will win after I practice with Anu Malik? Selection committee. Acha, okay. See, what will happen is, after 1 year, one thing is certain, I will be good in music. Whether I win Indian Idol or not, I'll be good in music. Why? Because I have practiced. So now coming back, we don't know what is concentration. We are getting distracted. Okay? And we are practicing distraction for 18 hours a day. 8 hours we are sleeping. So what will happen after 6 months? We will become good in distraction. After 1 year, we will become stalwarts in distraction. Maybe after 1.5 years, people will call me to give keynote on distraction. So that is what will happen. So what is concentration? So let us understand what concentration is and how to concentrate. To understand concentration, we'll have to understand the mind. See, we have, manuals for everything. We have manuals for telephones, we have manuals for laptop. The mind is the most important thing in this universe, but there is no manual. So let us understand the mind. And to understand mind, we have to understand two things. One is awareness and another is the mind. Awareness is, let us assume that it's like a ball of light which is moving around. Okay? That is awareness. And mind is a vast space which has got different areas. One area is for love, another area is for hate, another area is for anger. And this ball of light is moving around, and whichever area it goes, it lights up that area and we get that feeling. Right? That we are happy. We are actually not happy. It has actually gone and lighted up the area which is happiness. Or it has lighted up the area which is anger. See, suppose you go to a movie, 3 hours, right? Certain scenes are there where you feel happy. Certain scenes are there where you feel mushy. Certain scenes are there where you feel scared. It happens, no? So what has actually happened? You have paid 300 rupees or 400 rupees and allowed the director to take your awareness and shift it from one area to another area the way he wanted. And you have gone through all these different emotions. And then when the lights come up, you say, wow, what a beautiful movie. Concentration, by definition, is the art of keeping this ball of light in a particular area for a specific period of time. Whenever it moves away, bring it back. That is what concentration is all about. We talk mindfulness, no? Something similar. Now, so this is concentration. Do you agree to this? Right. Now, how do you practice concentration? Very simple. How many hours do we speak to our spouse every day? At least 2 hours? 1 hour? 2 hours? How many? Raise your hands, please. 2 hours you speak to your spouse during the day, or you don't get time? See, what happens is, when you are speaking, it happens to me, when you are speaking to your wife, you are thinking, यार वो email आने का था, वो नवनीत का phone आना था यार, नहीं आया. She is talking, I am listening, but my concentration is somewhere else. Or when I am speaking to my son, he is in class 11 in PACE, and he comes and tells me, ki Papa, today this happened, that happened. I am listening, but my concentration is somewhere else. Don't do that. Don't do that. Speak for maybe half an hour. But when you speak, you see that your awareness is fully there in that dialogue. That is how you will practice concentration. And once you practice concentration, what happens? Your focus develops. We say leaders have insights. They can see a lot of things which others can't see. They can envisage a lot of problems which others can't. Right? I'll give you an example. How many of you watch football on the television? Yeah? Many of you. So suppose a World Cup match is happening and you are watching that match on the television. So one person is running with that ball on the left flank, right? And you can see another person on the right flank who is alone. And you are telling him, usko pass kar, usko pass kar, usko pass kar. You are shouting there, right? It's a World Cup match happening. The guy passes, but not passes to that person. He passes to somebody else. And you said, oh idiot, he can't even figure out. How much money does that guy get? Maybe 10 crores or 20 crores. Why is it that he can't see the obvious which you can? Any reason? Yes, it is the perspective. You are seeing that from the top. You are seeing it from a different level of consciousness, at a much higher level, so you can see the entire place, which he can't. You are seeing it from the top of a stadium. This is called copter view. So that is what insight is all about. Once you focus and you concentrate, you develop insight. And that is what, music teaches you. We are a result of where all we have invested our energy for all our life. How many of you have watered plants in the garden? Quite a few. So when you water plants with the pipe, the water falls on the plant as well as the weeds. Now which one will grow? The plant or the weeds? Both. Correct. Because the water cannot differentiate between the plant or the weeds. Same thing with our energy. The energy cannot differentiate between negative or positive. So if we focus our energy on negative things, negativity will increase. If we focus our energy on positive things, positivity will increase. People say, not yet proven, that Osama bin Laden was an engineer. If you search on the internet, there are theories, he may be an engineer. Now, he focused his energy on destruction. You saw what happened. Imagine, if he would have focused his energy on something positive, what would have happened? So basically, we are a sum total of where we have put our energy all our life, and that is why we are here. So that is what music teaches us. The way you put your focus, the way you put your concentration.